Okay, here I want to talk about the Pythagorean theorem with right triangles and also about Pythagorean inequalities. And this sort of goes with um, our 2C part 2 notes. Okay, so if we have a right triangle, we know a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Okay, and so we can sort of prove that here. If we go to GeoGebra, I'm going to do a segment with a given length. Now I'm going to use a 3, 4, 5 right triangle for right now. So if we hit segment with a given length, I'm going to click that right here. Length of 4. I'm going to do another segment with a given length from point A to length of 3. Okay. And I'm going to move my point C around like this. All right. And now we're going to do we'll measure the distance here. So from A to C is 3. From A to B is 4. I'm going to move these out my way here. All right. And now I'm going to put an angle in between here. Okay. So I'm going to measure this angle from C to A to B. Okay, it's 90.3. All right, and then I'm going to do a line segment from C through B. Okay, we'll measure that. And lo and behold, it has a length of 5. Okay, 3, 4, 5. So if it's a right triangle, a 90-degree angle right here, all right, the sides, it's a squared plus b squared is going to equal to c squared. Okay, so 3 squared is 9, 4 squared is 16. You add those together, it equals 25, which also happens to be 5 squared. Okay, now I want to talk about how we can make this an obtuse triangle. Okay, how we can make this right triangle and turn it into an obtuse triangle. Right. So what we would do is we would take our 90-degree angle and open it up. Okay, so if we were to open this 90-degree angle up, okay, let's see what would happen. I'm going to take point B, I'm going to drag it down, I'm going to open it up. Okay, well now look at what we have here. We have 3 and 4, right? We have 3 and 4. All right, 3 squared plus 4 squared is still equal to 25 squared. Okay, or is equal to 25, excuse me. 3 squared plus 4 squared equals 25. But now the hypotenuse is 5.3. Okay, so since the hypotenuse is 5.3, if we do 5.3 squared, I don't know how to pull a calculator up here. If we did 5.3 squared, I'll pull it up on my screen here. Our 5.3 squared is 28.09. Okay, so now we don't have a right triangle anymore. So a squared plus b squared does not equal c squared anymore. Okay, again, a squared is 9, b squared is 16. You add those up, it's 25. Okay, the c is 5.3, and 5.3 squared is 28.09. So right now is c squared is larger than a squared plus b squared. Okay, and when c squared is larger than a squared plus b squared, what happened was is we opened up our triangle. It became an obtuse triangle right here. Okay. Now, if we can bring it back to a right triangle right here. Okay. So we have 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared again because it's a right triangle. If we were to make it an acute triangle, we would take the 90-degree angle and close it. If we close that 90-degree angle, now 3 and 4, okay, 3 squared plus 4 squared still adds up to 25. Okay. Now the hypotenuse is 4.5. 4.5 squared is 20.25. So now a squared plus b squared is greater than c squared. Okay, a squared plus b squared is greater than c squared. All right. So that means if a squared plus b squared is bigger than c squared, it is an acute triangle. Okay. So what we got to do is, let's see if I can add some text here. Okay. So if a squared plus b squared equals c squared, the right triangle. Okay. If a squared plus b squared is less than b squared. Okay. What happens is the hypotenuse got bigger. Okay. The c squared is bigger than a squared plus b squared because right angle got bigger. Okay. So it's an obtuse triangle. All right. Now, if a squared plus b squared is greater than c squared, okay, hypotenuse got smaller because the right angle got smaller. Okay, so it makes it an acute triangle. Okay. So a squared plus b squared equals c squared. It's a right triangle. A squared plus b squared is less than c squared. The hypotenuse got bigger because the right angle got bigger. So it's an obtuse triangle. Okay. So that's how we'll look at our C part 2 notes right there. And there's sort of a visualization of it here on video for you, but we'll still talk about it together. Thank you.